Welcome back to the second episode of the Socks and Four podcast. If this is your first episode with us, you can check out episode 1 on SoundCloud. We will be on Apple next week. I know I said that last week, but we had some technical issues that nobody really cares about, so I'm not going to explain it. But it'll be on Apple definitely next week. Thanks for coming back. If this is your second episode, hope you stick around for the rest of the season to talk about the Sox and listen to the Sox with us. We will be answering some listener questions today. Again, we got me, Ty, we got Zach and Dylan. What's up, guys?
What's up?
What's good, guys?
And then we got Brandon and Adam, who weren't with us last week, but they're here this week. They are moved in and everything, or all that nonsense. Right. So you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah. Hey, guys, I'm Brandon. I'm originally from Worcester, Massachusetts. I'm going to school in Phoenix, Arizona now at Grand Canyon University. Looking forward to covering the Sox with all you guys, and looking forward to this season. It's going to be fun.
Yep, I'm Adam Wongerly. I'm originally from Cincinnati, Ohio. I actually moved here in January of 2018, so I'm kind of a new member of Sox Nation. I don't normally adopt second teams, but, it's easy to root for the Sox. That's the one Boston team I can go for. And, yeah, man, I'm excited to do this podcast and keep riding the wave.
You're a Reds fan, you said, right?
I am a Reds fan, man.
I'm not going to lie. You're the only Reds fans I know.
I have to stay repping. Somebody's got to bring Cincinnati out here, though, man.
For sure. You got most of the Red Sox, like in Reds and Red Sox. It's close enough.
Right. It makes it easy to root for.
Yeah. And OA.
Not bad. There's some good history between the two teams, too.
For sure. Reds are probably playing better than the Red Sox. If you want to start out with the early struggles, what you guys' thoughts on really the opening series against Seattle, and how we kind of carried into Oakland?
Man, this road trip's killing us right now. We got to get back to Fenway. Home opener is still a week away. It's not until next Tuesday, but I think the starting pitching will get it together. They obviously weren't ready going into the first series of the season, that's for sure. But, yeah, I think Chris Sale's going to have a solid start tonight, and they'll get back to playing baseball.
Yeah, no, not a fan of seeing the your ace that you just extended for 5 years get shelled in the first game, and then proceed to see everybody else get shelled and give up home run after home run. So starting pitching, definitely the biggest question mark out of the first series. So hope to see that.
I was definitely surprised by our bullpen's pitching. They came out and they were honestly the surprise of the first start of the season because, like you said, our starting pitching was just getting rocked. They were getting lit up first 4 games of the series. First 4 games of the season, rather. And even though the offense was exciting to watch, that one game come back, the rallies have fallen short every other night. So
it's a lot about who they're playing, too, though, right now. I mean, the Mariners, they're starting off hot. So it's tough when your team might be coming off cold. The Mariners are 6-1, I think. Even the A's, they stuck it to the Angels. They won 3 out of 4 from them. And they obviously, their 2 losses were against the Mariners. So, just a couple add more to how well the Mariners are playing. So it's tough. They're starting out West Coast. Not only are they home, they're far away from home.
Yeah.
So
I was just going to say, do you guys think that the 2 teams were playing the first 2 series, Seattle and then Oakland, were the 2 teams that started the season like a week and a half ago in Japan? Do you think they have sort of like an advantage to either of them? Like maybe you're just getting into baseball.
That's what I was thinking. We went on live the other day, or I think it was last night. I remember I mentioned, I'm like, these are the 2 teams that kind of they were obviously played in Japan. I'm not going to say this is an excuse. The Sox are still just getting bombs hit off them, but it's these guys had to lock in a little bit earlier, had to kind of play meaningful baseball earlier, shorter offseason, shorter spring training. So everyone's kind of just trying to get in the swing of regular season baseball. Again, they were in Japan, so it's not like they were playing a home game on the road. They had to go all the way over there. It's only 2 games. It's a week before the season started. Who knows? It's just 2 hot bats to start the season, I guess. But
absolutely, I think it was that Japan road trip basically to start the opening series was huge for Oakland and Seattle getting back into the swing of regular season baseball. Emotions were definitely high because of the whole Ichiro situation going on over there. And even the Red Sox had a slow end to spring training too. Giving up 16-something runs to close their spring training out? It's kind of not the way you want to see it end.
Yeah, for sure. The pitching, obviously, probably the biggest issue. We got guys just hitting home runs left and right. I think they're like 14 home runs hit against the Sox.
Yeah.
And I think 11 of
That's-
those are from the starters.
That's tough.
Not a winning formula.
Not at all.
I mean, I have a theory that the balls are juiced because what was that, two seasons ago in the World Series or something like that, they were complaining about the balls be juiced.
Yeah,
I mean, Sox can't hit it out. Maybe they switch it because they won 108 games last year. They gotta even out the playing field. But I'm gonna rip the balls are juiced only for the pitches theory. No shot. But you gotta have some hope within this.
They're not even giving up like squeakers home runs. Like these things are like 430 feet to like dead center.
Some of these haven't landed yet.
I know.
So.
Jackie was just like looking like way over his
West
head.
Coast air. That's what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Juice balls, West Coast there.
Pacific
Everything like no, but everyone's worried about the starting pitching rotation, saying maybe they're washed up, maybe we overpaid for some guys. I mean, the ERA is nothing great. Like we said, 21 ERA for Chris Sale.
21.
Probably minutes after the ink dried on the extension. So it's nothing you want to see, but whatever. You just got to roll with it in the beginning rather than now and then in September, October.
That's tough to look at ERA this early.
Yeah, for sure.
That's so skewed of a stat in the beginning. It's some people are freaking out about it, but I just don't put that much weight onto that yet. I mean, honestly.
Yeah, that's like when an NBA player drops like 50 points in the opening game. So he's like averaging 50 points a game. But like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like, all right.
100 numbers.
Give me MVP now.
Yeah.
I think the players, they have no excuse for the way they're performing, but I got to put some blame on the Daniel Evangie and Alex Cora because, like, Chris Sale, he might not have even been ready going into the season. He only got to pitch, 2 or 3 times during spring training? I mean, not only that, like, Nathan Eovaldi, Rick Porcello, David Price. Well, David Price pitched well, but Rick Porcello and Nathan Eovaldi, same thing. They weren't ready their first start of the season.
Yeah, no, I did some advanced sabermetrics over here. Not really, but I was looking, and a lot of what I've heard from people and just reactions is that the Alex Cora method of using your starting pitchers as relief pitchers in a deep postseason run can really tire guys out. And I was looking and I was thinking, okay, well, did these guys pitch an absurd amount of innings compared to like other seasons? And in all honesty, in the 2018 postseason, the pitcher who pitched the most innings was David Price with 26 innings pitched. And I went back and added up the totals of the last 5 or 6 seasons. And, you had people throwing 35 innings, 25. Madison Bumgarner pitched 52 innings in the playoffs. So to say that these guys are too tired or had like too deep of a run is a total cop out. I don't know. I don't think that I just think Cora didn't prepare them. It's not, these guys are tired from the World Series. They weren't even the most pitched in the last 6 years.
Yeah, the coaching staff, they're not worried at all. I mean, these games do count, though. Like, who knows? Down the line in September, these early April games, they could hurt us in the end. But the coaching staff, they don't seem to be worried. I'm confident in the starters, too, but you just got to hope they're ready to go the series versus Arizona and the rest of the way.
Dylan's confident in the pitching staff. Pedro Martinez is confident in the coaching staff. I think we'll be all right. But even those numbers you were talking about, David Price throwing 26 innings total in the postseason. He's our only starter to go 6 innings at least, and he's got the lowest ERA of the bunch with we got 6 ERA. He's the only starting pitcher on our staff with the ERA sub double digit.
There we go. That's so positive. You can spin it. Offensively, they're not doing that bad. I know heading into last night's game, they're averaging 6.5 runs, but then they get shut out. So I don't know how that really affects anything. I didn't check. Probably say like 6 runs a game. Can't hate that. Getting a lot of people crossing the plate, but when you're down like 10-6 or 11-6, that's when it's starting to kill you. JD Martinez obviously starting out hot, batting .381, has 2 home runs and 7 RBIs. Devers is hitting the ball. He's just not really has people in front of him to hit because Mookie and Benintendi starting out kind of slow. He's hitting .300, no home runs, no RBIs. like I said, because Mookie and Benintendi, they only batted about 18 times and 217, 215 batting average. So, like we said, it's game like whatever 6 tonight. It's 160 of these. Like,
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet right off the bat. I'm betting Martinez has a huge game tonight. I was looking up a little bit of what they've done against Fires. The guys taking the mound for the Athletics. Betts, Benintendi, Devers, and Martinez are hitting 273, 400, 333, and 500 respectively there. So JD's 500 against this guy, and it's not like 1 for 2. He's 7 for 14. So I mean,
yeah. That's his number.
Yeah, I'm betting anything that this
Positive.
time, this game, JD, he goes yard. That's going to be my lock of the game. I bet JD takes one over Yango.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, if you're a betting man, take that bet.
Oh, I am a betting man.
It's crippling.
I say it's a bet. I would never say it's a lock, but I don't know, man. We'll see. You know, I just think
that lock's loose.
Yeah, no. JD's going to go yard. They're putting up the runs. Chris Sale, you know, the starting pitching's tough, but with those runs, I think that's why the coaches aren't that worried. I mean, because the talent that's in the rotation, you have to assume they're going to get it together. And then the fact that they're putting up the runs. So once those paths cross, you know, they're going to start winning a lot of games. They're going to rattle off some streaks. So, I mean, that's the way I see it. I don't think it's in panic mode at all, or anybody's got to freak out and move the rotation.
Ask anybody at 98.5 or in Boston media. They're going to say blow up this season already. Like,
no,
they were saying that in spring training.
They all got the Yankees winning the East too.
Well, they need to get their clicks in now because like that's what happens to every single pad season. Like the Brady's done stuff. Like you gotta like do stuff just to get like paid, literally. But I don't think anyone really believes it. Yeah. Like this is why Felger and Maz is like such a popular show because of controversy and stuff.
They right after the Red Sox won the World Series, Maz was like, "This isn't good for the Red Sox. This isn't."
You can't go back to back. I'm like, shut up.
Just enjoy it. Don't worry about back to back. You know, I always think it's tough. The baseball gods don't. That's a hard thing to do. I mean, first one wasn't since what? It was the Yankees, I think, that did it.
Yeah, they went
99, repeat. Yeah, 99, 2001. So I don't know. I mean, your goal obviously is to win a championship at the end of every year, but before anything else, you got to forget last year and you got to come out and win game 1, game 2, game 3, you know? So I know in Boston, it's all about the championships, right? I know that, but
people are psychopaths.
Right. But as this goes on, you gotta think a little smaller for now. Focus on the now, the present. You know, I think it'll be fine. Don't blow anything up.
My big question is, how long do you think Cora rides with Andrew Benintendi leading off? He's currently last on the team for batting average. He's a crisp 2 for 16, and that's a position Mookie's pretty much held for the last couple seasons. Do you think Cora kind of abandons his switch and maybe goes back to old reliable with Mookie leading off?
It's funny you say that. I heard a report say that Mookie is going to hit leadoff for the rest of the season. That's what Alex Cora decided.
What do you know? I didn't
sure.
even know.
Yeah, he started the leadoff last night. I'm pretty sure he's back in the leadoff spot again tonight. I haven't looked at the lineup, so I'm pretty sure he's back in the leadoff spot again.
Yeah, we'll find out tomorrow.
That's an
easier game
change.
and listen to this. But I know they were talking about Pedroia leading off when he got back, but sure, I'm not gonna argue it. But if you're gonna have Mookie, Pedroia, then what? That bumps Benintendi down to 5, 6.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'd rather have Bogarts hit in front of him in the middle of the lineup. So if Benintendi has Pedroia come back, or if Pedroia could even start low, who knows? I mean, he's not coming back for a couple of weeks. Speaking of Xander, extension, get paid, stay in Boston for another 6, 7 years.
I like
big fan.
Yeah,
I love it for sure.
Yeah, they got him for cheap. I mean, they got him for like
$20 million a year or something like that, right? Yeah, that's nothing.
Everyone thought he was gonna walk, including myself. Out of all the young core that's due to get paid, or even just all the guys due to get paid, with like Sale, Porcello, Mookie, JD, like if he opts out, like Xander just seemed like kind of at the bottom of the list. So to get this one done,
well, in baseball, it's kind of weird. Like in every other sport, like the NFL, the NBA, you'll hear like for weeks, like rumored contract extension. But like Mike Trout contract extension, nobody really heard anything about it before. Like Alex Bregman, then you got Chris Sale, then you got Xander Bogaerts. So these really do come out of nowhere. I guess that's why kind of Mookie cut it before all the rumors started saying he's just going to wait for free agency. But I don't know. I think him signing only helps Mookie. I'm not sure what the payroll is because he's going to be asking for, like we said last episode, just ungodly amounts of money. But you guys, it's like Dombrowski shows that he's willing to pay to keep the core together. Porcello even said he's going to take less money just to stay in Boston, so that money can go to Mookie or whatever. I don't know. It feels like these guys like want to stay together, willing to take paychecks, and Dombrowski's willing to pay.
No, for sure.
Yeah, locking up Xander is good too. I mean, that gets him to his age 32 season for shortstop. You know, like that. That's a good contract for and they could always bring him back for a 2-year deal or something like that in the end. But
Yeah.
I don't know, Mookie. That's tough. Keeping a core together like they have though, all the talent that they have. I mean, it's just kind of inevitable to think that one of them get away. One of them's got to get out of there. Like, because Porcello might give up less money, but I bet Mookie Betts is giving up less. Yeah, they're not giving up less money. Like, Porcello's getting up there in age too. Like, no wonder he's.
Yeah, I think he's 30 right now, but he's been in the league since he was 20. So feels like he's been forever. But
exactly.
Porcello's one of our more durable guys.
I mean, the dude just took a shot off the head from a line drive and stayed out there. Like,
never mind. Yeah, true. I'm not gonna.
That's what's great about baseball is the pitching. You can pitch up for into your age 40 seasons. You see that with the guy who closed last night's game in Fernando Rodney, and you see that in CC Sabathia for the Yankees too.
Yeah,
Greg
for sure.
Maddux. How old was Maddux? He was probably like 42.
75 years old.
Yeah, 75. Because those guys know how to pitch, It's different.
Yeah. It's like the old guy at the YMCA that doesn't really know how to play basketball. It's athletic, but he knows the bank shot. Sticks with his bank shot.
He's got that post fade, that post hook.
Right.
So we're gonna answer some Red Sox questions later in the episode, but we're gonna kind of wrap up, I guess a rundown type of thing with other MLB news. Yelich showing why he was the NL MVP last year. Started the first 4 games of the season hitting at least a home run in every game, and I think he had a walk-off, right? Like a walk-off single too. Double, yeah. So he's
they're
going for back-to-back hard.
Let me tell you, it was well worth picking him first in my fantasy baseball draft.
Yeah,
great
for sure.
first pick by me.
It's great first
little self-praise right there.
This is my first year ever playing fantasy baseball, and I barely get it.
I barely understood it my first year. I just enjoy doing the drafting part of it.
Yeah.
Just like comparing your teams to all your buddies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big fan of doing like an auction draft, giving like most of my salary for Mookie Betts, and then I don't care. I don't care about the rest of it.
Bronson Arroyo is just starting one.
Bronson Arroyo. Shout out.
No, Christian Yelich though, he had first 4 games of the season, he had a home run in every game. He broke the Brewers team record. He was like one of only like 6 other MLB players to do it. He would have been the only MLB player if he homered in the 5th game versus the Reds. I'm pretty sure it was Monday night.
Yep.
It's crazy to think that like he was like a Marlin that wasn't even like getting a lot of attention. Like Stanton was the big free agent that left from
Fernandez too.
But then they had D Gordon, they had Christian Yelich. Like they had a good team. Like I don't understand how the Miami Marlins weren't better. They had 2 MVPs on their team. I don't know. I just something about
Did they
that.
have the pitching though? I don't remember anybody on there.
They had
Jose Fernandez.
I know,
Rest in peace.
Yeah,
R.I.P.
And then he did a thing.
But still, I just feel like what are the odds that a team has like 2 like back-to-back NL MVPs that just you trade away in the same offseason? Like that.
Not even make playoffs, even just a horrible team.
Yeah, I don't know. I found that odd. I'm like, he was a Marlin.
Yeah. And then going to the other big team in the AL East, I guess you could say, if you want to call them that. I mean, you should. They won 100 games last year. The Yankees, not a great start to the season either, but clearly everyone wants to talk about Boston's slow start and how the Yankees are going to win AL East. They lose the series to the Orioles, who won their first game against like a T-ball team last week. Not a great team at all. And then Stanton, the 10-day IL, I'll forever call it DL. This is a DL podcast.
Still the DL on this podcast.
This is one promise is we will always call it the DL. And I have no idea. This I've never known how to say this guy's name. Andujar, dude. If you gave me 30 minutes, I wouldn't be able to say that name. Out for the season. Most likely, he's gonna get that surgery. I'm assuming. Like that would just be dumb not to. But big hit to the lineup for the Yankees, and as just a person, you don't want to see people get hurt. I see a lot of Sox fans on like Twitter and everything because they're just bloodthirsty, just crazy people saying like this is huge for the Sox. I'm like, dude, like this dude got hurt. Yeah. Like this is how this guy makes money. Like relax. Right. Hopefully makes full and quick recovery, but it's a big hit to the Yankees and affects the Sox really in a good way.
Yeah, no, I remember last year they had the Yankees. They won 100 games. I mean, I don't like to give them any credit because I despise them as much as the next guy, but I mean, they won 100 games and they didn't even have Aaron Judge for, a good chunk of the season. So, don't think that they're just going to kind of bow out of the race just because one of their young studs is out, potentially for the season. They still grind it out when their superstar was down last year. So I don't see the Yankees going anywhere. Andujar is like a great player, was, I think, runner-up for the Rookie of the Year last year, but it'll still be a dog fight till the end of the season with the Yankees for sure.
Right now, you also got Giancarlo Stanton, who just got put in the DL. He can miss upwards to 3 weeks. He has a left bicep strain.
That news broke on April Fool's, and I figured it was an April Fool's joke, but it wasn't. Like I had a couple people DM us saying like, "Oh, like he's hurt."
Too lame of an injury to be April Fool's.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to talk April Fool's joke, I don't know if you're listening, dude. I'm not gonna say an Instagram thing, but shout out to the guy who DM'd us saying there's some like April Fool's post, like a meme thing saying like Mookie wants to go to the Yankees. He was like, "Oh my god," and I was like, "Dude, like look when it's posted." My guy, he was like, "Oh, just kidding, my bad." It's like gotta have some self-awareness right there.
That's a tough look.
Hey, shout out for reaching out to us. So if you want us to break it, then whatever. I'll make fun of you, but I'll stay with it. Any other big MLB news outside? Adam, how's your Reds starting out the year?
Sorry, go on. What were you gonna say, Owen?
The Braves just signed Ronald Acuna.
Yeah.
I can't think of how many years it is at the top of my head, but it's $100 million contract.
8 years, one.
So the future is definitely bright for him in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And then another one staying inside the AL East, we had Kevin Pillar shipped off to San Francisco for a few prospects. And I think it's going to be good for Jackie Bradley Jr. in the future because he was really his only competition for not winning 3 straight Gold Gloves in center field. So look for Jackie Bradley to repeat in that department too.
So it looks like the Blue Jays are in full rebuild mode. It's hard. It's very hard to give up a guy like Kevin Pillar. He's a nasty outfielder for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting for Vlad Guerrero Jr.
They're making room for Vlad.
Yeah, I can't wait for that guy to come. Even though I don't like the Blue Jays.
I can't wait either.
He's a monster, dude. He hits nukes.
That dude is built too. Is it not even he's built? He's just huge.
He's like a Prince Fielder built.
Yeah.
Big old boy
on like steroids.
Yeah.
It's like pumping him up like a bike tire and then throwing him on a baseball uniform. Like, dude, like I will say I watch all of his like those batting practice videos because like the whole like special sound to it. Like this dude just crushes the ball.
I know. Yeah. Dude, he's 6'1", 250 at 20 years old.
Holy cow.
At 20? Dude, I'm 20 years old right now. I'm 6'5", 180. Like he can snap me like a glow stick.
He's gonna be a problem.
You can play linebacker.
Yeah,
I know.
God, you could just floss with me.
Get him in a Pats uniform.
Give him something other than a baseball. Actually, no. If you're Vlad Guerrero Jr., you have to play baseball.
He's got the baseball name.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a strong name to begin with. Even if it wasn't Vlad Guerrero's son, like that's a baseball name. If you want to get to the listeners' questions before we kind of wrap up, we got a handful of them. We got Spike King, our guy. I just lost the question. I locked my phone. But it's basically about the Sox pitch and how they're giving up all these home runs. Kind of like how we talked earlier, how they're going to bounce back and all that. We kind of mentioned it earlier, but we think it's just a minor thing. I mean, I thought it was just going to be a couple game, I guess, flu. But by game 5, when the 14th home run gets hit outside the ballpark, you got to kind of question it.
Right. I'll say something about that too. I think you see in the last few years the offensive production, the home run ball especially, has been insanely going skyrocketing percentage wise and numbers wise too. I guarantee that this year it's gonna be surpassed again, just like the ball in the NBA, the home run ball. Chicks dig the long ball.
Balls of juice, dude.
Honestly, so I think though it might go down a little bit for the Sox starting rotation for giving up home runs, it's still going to happen. It's a part of baseball, and it's going to be a big part of baseball for a long, long time.
Oh, yeah, the game's evolving for sure. These guys are learning how to hit. They're learning how to swing up rather than down like some of them did back in the day. It's just a part of the game. Hitting's always going to outpower the pitching. But I'm still not concerned about the starting rotation. I think they'll get it together. They just weren't ready going into the season, which is not something you want to see.
Yeah, if you were in April, then talk to me in
Too
September.
early to worry about the starting rotation.
Too worried for any team, really. Like,
yeah, to switch it around. I mean, say you switch one guy, all right, then say that doesn't work. Are you going to switch it back? It's just you got to see how it plays out a little bit in the marathon over, the first couple games.
Yeah. GRD, Green Runs Deep. Definitely check him out. I'm pretty sure you already know about him if you're listening to us. But he goes, "What's your favorite food at Fenway?" Adam, don't know if you've been to Fenway before.
I went to
you have?
LDS game 2 against the Yankees last year.
There we
Bro,
go.
I was at that game
Okay.
too.
You grab some
Yeah.
food there? You want to lead it off?
Man, I don't remember. I think I had chicken fingers. You can't really
Solid.
go wrong with
Can't
chicken
mess that
fingers.
up.
You can't. So I got chicken fingers. The Sox lost that game. I think that was the only one they lost.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that kind of sucked. But
Go back to the Reds. Clearly
Yeah.
the reason. Yeah.
We don't need your.
Hey, when I got here, the Pats got a Super Bowl and the Sox got a World Series. So
Good point. I'll drop an ALDS game for that, actually.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe just don't go to the games. Just watch them on your couch.
Just watch him from afar.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. All right, that's cool.
Brandon, how about you?
Oh, I
What you
would
know?
definitely say a good Fenway Frank is my go-to when I'm at the games. That's what I got. Last game I went to was game 1 of the World Series, and I wanted to get a root beer with it because that's my combo is when I go to a ball game, hot dog and some root beer. And they were out of root beer for game 1 of the World Series. I mean, the biggest event that happened in Fenway in
The
5
root beer
years,
list, dog.
and they're out of root beer.
Come on.
That's a
I had to-
rookie move.
Heather.
They charge
go
that
with,
much for World Series tickets. You know, you get my
Honest.
guys some root beer.
Right.
To not get a root beer, so I stuck with a good Sprite with no ice.
Oh,
That's a move.
God. How did they go to
That's
that?
definitely a
What the
decision.
hell?
I still got the cup.
There we
All
go.
right, that's cool. Hey.
Hopefully it's one of those like souvenir cups, not some like
absolutely.
styrofoam. What you, Dylan? What you, Mo?
I'd say I like the Italian sausage there. I think that's pretty good. I'd say that's probably my favorite. I also like the Fenway Frank too. You got to go with the Fenway Frank.
Yeah, these are all
Good.
recommendations.
Real
Yeah.
good.
Like if you haven't been to Fenway or you want to try something new,
All right,
easy with these.
Dylan, let me ask you this. Do you put condiments on top of your hot dogs?
I just go ketchup.
Ketchup, okay. I'm a no condiments type of guy.
It's a psychopath move. No ice.
Yeah.
It's like-
Yeah, wait a minute.
You're on a list somewhere, yeah.
I gotta say, those guys outside Fenway that cook up like the chicken, like subs and stuff, like the fajita
Street
stuff,
meat?
those-
Yeah.
those guys are they cook a mean chicken sub. Those
There we go.
guys.
Oh yeah,
So
those guys
always-
kill it every game. I always got to
Yeah.
go before the game, get that, and then get like ice cream halfway through or something.
Those guys, heckle me though. Like, hey, are you gonna buy something for like your girlfriend? I'm like, whoa, all right, man. Like, put me on the spot. Yeah,
My sister.
yeah, exactly. Those guys know how to sell.
I easily always is gonna go soft pretzel, no matter where I am. They're flames.
Another one
yeah.
you can't really go wrong with. I mean, that's
Best. I mean, it's hard to mess up a pretzel, but I've seen people
Right.
do it. Trust me. Like, I've had a bad pretzel in my day. Manerus, MANERRRRR. There's like 7 R's. IS. He asked us 3 questions. I like them all, so I'm gonna throw them all in the episode. One player who you think will be a difference maker this year, whether it's like a reliever, a bench player, utility player, who's like this season's biggest X factor.
I got to go with Matty Barnes. I mean, if he's going to be the closer every night, he looked great the other night too.
As
Game
one
2 of the
opportunity.
season.
Yeah,
But
2Ks, that was
he's just got to be consistent. Because if he's not consistent, they're going to put someone else there, and who knows? but I trust in him. I think he's going to do good this season as a closer. So I think he's going to be a big difference maker.
I like that one. I'm going to go with Rafael Devers. I think he's going to take a step up. He's definitely lost some weight as the Red Sox wanted him to this offseason. I think his defensive game is going to step up. We haven't seen it thus far. He had a few tough plays last night in Oakland where he didn't complete the play, and there were a few errors handed out. But I think Rafael Devers' fielding percentage on that hot corner is going to be drastic for this Red Sox team, and it's going to take him a long way.
Devers is like one of those guys that I think he's like universally liked by Red Sox Nation, kind of like very opposite David Price, where there's like a camp. I hate David Price. Camp. He made, I think, 3 errors in the opening couple of games, but nobody really like is yelling at him. Like it's like, it's just Rafael Devers. Like he's 14 years old, whatever. What are you gonna do about it? Like he has schooled him.
Still a kid.
Yeah, like all that Section 10 stuff that got popular, whatever. Yeah, I mean, I was gonna go Devers too. I was happy with seeing him start in the 3 spot. Cheap contract, could be a huge performance, like a steal for money wise. So yeah, that's my choice too.
I look at a guy like Jackie Bradley, who when his bat is going, and obviously he's a wizard with the glove, but when he can hit, we saw it in the ALCS last year, like he changes games. And so to see him struggle with I think he popped out to end the game the other day or something like that with the bases loaded, like with a chance to make a comeback. It's very concerning. Like he's someone that I need to see make that jump, get that back going. He can make a big difference though.
Even if it's a step downward, but it's still consistent.
Yeah, exactly. I don't need him hitting 300 with 20 nukes, but if he can
very streaky.
Yeah, if you give me like 230 with a couple extra base hits, I'll be happy.
Yeah, I think. That's most of them. Next question. Sorry, I was just reading it. If you had to pick one player who grabs the bull by the horn to be the closer, who would it be? Dylan, I know you said Barnes, so I'm assuming you're going to stick with him there. I'm also a big Barnes guy. I wanted before the season. It's really him, Brazier, and then I guess Durbin Feltman, who really won't – like he's just a fan kind of prospect. Like they kind of just want to see him just because like we said, Section 10, whatever, it's Dalton Furbush or whatever, like Bushman.
I didn't know his name. I didn't know his name wasn't the Bushman.
Yeah, I had to look his name up like 100. Like I literally have it written down right in front of me because I would have called him Dalton Furbush. Like Durbin Feltman, the second name to the guy.
Yeah, no, I'm taking Durbin. Yeah, I don't like that Durbin Feltman. I'm going with Dalton Furbush.
Poor name, terrible.
Durbin.
Yeah.
But yeah, we all in agreement that I don't think agreement is a word. Agreement. Barnes. Good.
Yeah, Matty Barnes. Matt Barnes.
If you start
is
with
my
Barnes,
closer.
you saw something about Barnes. You got to stick with it. You got to try it out.
Can't always be switching them around. That's just rocks the confidence, dude.
Especially a closer, you got to have a different kind of mindset to go out there and close games. You know what I mean? Like Rivera, Mariano threw like 2 different kinds of pitches. He was the greatest to ever do it because his mind, And the guy. We won't talk about the Yankees.
Let me tell you, Matt Barnes was absolutely locked in the other night. Like that was like the quickest bottom of the 9th I've seen. Yeah, like it was like 5 minutes. See you later. 1, 2, 3.
It finished him faster than Craig would have.
Yeah, to be fair, he never blown a save in the postseason. Oh. People forget that. He made him close, but not one of them were blown.
I'd like to see Chris Sale close every game. That guy was a monster in the World Series.
That was special.
Everyone clapping him coming out. I was like, oh my God. Like
it's happening.
This is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, just have him start and close.
Yeah, just
wait that around from Manfred. Zach, you asked this question. It's gonna be the last one of the episode. It was a good one, so I'm gonna add it, obviously. So least likely to end their career in Boston between JD Martinez, Mookie Betts, and Andrew Benintendi. We'll start with you because you asked it. What's your thoughts on this one?
I have an unpopular opinion. Mookie Betts not finishing his career.
Backing it up.
I love Mookie Betts like as much as I probably love David Ortiz at his peak. Like he's just a guy that the fans can love. He's a good person. He mashes. He's great. But just the way I hear him talk about re-signing, his eagerness to test free agency. It makes me. You see guys like Porcello saying like, "I'll take a pay cut." I don't hear that from Mookie Betts. You know, guys like Xander are signing team-friendly deals. Even Sale came down off of his like earnings. So
Yeah, for sure.
I honestly, to piggyback that, I'm going to say that I do agree with that also. I think especially he's 26 years old. This is his chance to get that big contract. And if the Sox aren't willing to kind of lock everything up with that and say, you know what, this is the guy, rather than spend it on a couple other guys, you know, bring in some tool pieces or whatever, I just don't see that. I mean, if they have the money, yeah, but I don't think they're going to go out there and spend hundreds of millions of dollars on, I think, like 5 players I can think that kind of are going to be worth pretty big contracts. So
yeah, the only thing with that is we have no farm league, so I'm totally fine with whatever, just go all in these next like 5 years, just pay
and just
all the money and then just try to moneyball it.
Take another 100 years off.
Yeah. If we get 2 more, that's 6 ever since we've been.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'll take 100 off at 6.
Share some with Cincinnati, man. We're in a.
Yeah, just add OX, man. I've been telling you since the beginning.
God.
You're very close to the Sox, man. I'm probably gonna go JD least likely simply because I feel like when he's old, you just want to go to like a warm weather spot. It's a long season, and I'm just like, what? I'm thinking just human basic like motives, like not even baseball. I'm like, if I was him, won a couple of rings, won awards, prove myself in Boston, then whatever. I'm just gonna go enjoy myself in the last like 2 years of my career in like San Diego or something.
I gotta go JD as well.
Disagreeing with it?
That's
honestly
fair.
I would agree. There we go. I was gonna say very fair. I didn't know baseball knowledge behind it.
Comment, and he actually has the opportunity to opt out of his contract next year. Likely to restructure it is what I've seen. Like all the reports out of what he's hoping to do for the future with the Sox. He said prior that he wants to stay in Boston and that he enjoys winning here and that he wouldn't want to do it anywhere else. But he does have that option to opt out next year, maybe see what else is out there for him. But I would agree with you in saying that JD is the least likely to end his career in Boston.
Yeah, I gotta say JD too. With his contract ending, I think a team elsewhere could offer him a much bigger contract, like for longer too. I can only see the Red Sox offering him like a smaller contract, 2 or 3 years minimum. And I don't know if he wants that. He might want like a 6, 7, 8 year deal that he can take until he retires.
Yeah. Either way, I can see Benintendi staying, but it's all depending on really this Mookie deal, I think. Because if Mookie's gone, either Benintendi or JBJ is gone. Hopefully it'd be JBJ or Benintendi. Love the guy.
It's going to be hard to keep that core together. That outfield is legendary.
Yeah.
Based on defensive efficiency, how they produce at the plate. It's something special. The Killer Bees are to be reckoned with in history for best outfield.
For sure. Definitely up there, if not already. But yeah, that'll
Killer
wrap
Bees,
up.
Baby. Got this handy.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. You watch it now. Like I said, wrap up episode 2. Final things. Our website actually just launched, ridethewavemedia.com. We have a lot of MLB content coming out because it's obviously MLB season. I think so far Dylan, Zach, and Brandon, they have their own articles on the website. Their first ones, it's like the catching situation. Zach broke down the good, bad, and the ugly of opening day, which is a lot of ugly.
Yeah.
So if you want to have a little spite, go check that out. And then Brandon talked about JBJ producing at the plate a little more, working with JD Martinez as a hitting coach. And then I know I have some stuff like top 10 things to look for. Dustin Pedroia coming back. Best backyard baseball team you could think of. And I make fun of Luke Voigt's hair because that thing is atrocious. But yeah, ridethewavemedia.com. Definitely check that out. Not just MLB content. A lot of NBA stuff coming out and NHL with the playoffs coming up. Our NFL guys are covering free agency like that. So definitely go check all those Instagram pages out while you're at it. It's Ride the Wave and then followed by the sport you want to look at. We're Ride the Wave MLB. I know that we try to go live after most games, but on this West Coast road trip, they're all not really a good point in going live at 2 a.m. or something like that. But yeah, if you guys just want to plug anything real quick before we go, you can follow me personally on Twitter at Ty_Miller35, Instagram, the same thing. But Follow me on Twitter, just live tweet, and I just talk about the Sox, the Celtics, and I make stupid jokes that sometimes work.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, same name, The Adam W Show. Both Instagram and Twitter, same exact handle. Reds just lost, by the way, so the Brewers are now 5-1.
Hey, pour one out for Cincy.
Yeah. Damn it.
What about you, Brandon? Where we can find you at?
Oh, absolutely. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in this week. Hope to be back next week. It's gonna be fun. You can follow me on Instagram. It's my primary social media at Brandon Watabe. Pretty simple stuff. And then be on the lookout this week for my introduction to Michael Chavis, Red Sox prospect.
Yeah, you guys can follow me at ZHard4, both Instagram and Twitter. Pretty simple stuff. Live tweet the Red Sox. Nothing else but Red Sox content coming from me. That I eat, sleep, and drink this stuff.
If you guys want to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is Dylan DYLAN.McDonald, spelled MC, and then my Twitter is D_McDonald9.
We also have a Twitter starting out, right? What's that handle?
It's RTW_MLB.
Yeah, so a lot of homework. Follow these people. Good people, good content. I don't care if you follow me. I mean, like,
followed us by next episode. We'll shout
yeah, I mean, hey, if you give us a follow, we'll shout you out or something,
Yeah.
like an
Send
IG
us
story.
questions.
For sure. DMs are always open at any of our accounts, Ride the Wave MLB. Check out, like I said, Ride the Wave Media, their Instagram page, their website, all of our sports affiliates. A lot of special things happening over here. Week 1 of the launch, only going to get better from here. Thanks for listening to episode 2. And like I said, we'll be on Apple, hopefully, maybe this episode. Actually, you know by now if you're listening. Maybe next week, but we'll see you guys next week, guys.
Peace.
Ride the wave.
Ride the wave.